Okay, Stu, this felt like a really good day at Portman Road. The sun was shining. A legend was being celebrated. The stands looked great. The stands were full in many areas, and Town got a good win against a really good team. Maybe they didn't show it quite today, Plymouth, but a really good team nonetheless. A good day.
Yeah, for context, Plymouth came into this game on a 6-game win streak. They hadn't conceded a goal in any of those games. Yes, they were without some players today, a couple of key men away on international duty. Connor Grant, a key man, was an injury today. Centre-half went off injured in the first half, but in no way, shape or form do we take anything away from Ipswich Town. 1-0 winners today, fully deserved. Could and should have been more. And as you say, just can't get that bit closer to the playoffs because Sheffield Wednesday have won today. The gap only narrows by a single point. It's 5 points. And they might fall short. It's felt like that for a little while, but boy, does the medium-term future feel really positive at the moment.
Yeah, let's park the playoff talk for the purposes of this, because if you wanted to load up criticisms of Ipswich, it's that if you looked at the teams above them in the league, the top 7 especially, they'd not beaten any of them
until today.
So that's a positive. It's something to take. It was a great performance, particularly in the first half, where they were fantastic, and it should have been more. But they also managed to avoid doing what they did a week ago, which was do all the hard work, pretty much beat a team that's above them in the league, and then concede in stoppage time. They didn't do that today, and so I'm going to say it again. It's positive. Enjoyed it.
Yeah, first half was one of the most watchable halves of football that I've had following Ipswich for a long time. I thought Plymouth actually started the better team in some ways for the first 10-15 minutes. That you could see that they kept the ball well, they had good patterns of play, but Ipswich slowly got on top and they got a goal, a really well worked goal. Another one of these goals straight off the training pitch where they're working at overloading certain areas. Wes Burns to the fore again. He wasn't actually, I've lied, he wasn't involved in the goal, was he? It was a Burst and Selina beautiful ball over the top, little bit of backspin. James Norwood spun his man, held him off, cut back, and there's Sam Morsey, edge of the 6-yard box between the two centre halves, just passed the ball home. And he keeps getting in those lovely little areas. Ipswich keep getting in down that right hand side, and 1-0. And from there, only one team looked like winning it. The only fear was, as we got into those latter stages, is it going to be Oxford again? Because we felt so comfortable at Oxford last weekend, but one set piece and things can happen. And the goalkeeper came up not once but twice at the end for Plymouth. But this time Ipswich were that little bit more focused and they saw it out, and that was fully deserved.
I'll let you off with the Wes Burns thing, because it crosses from the right. They always come from Wes Burns, or maybe Janoy Didassin. So to get one from James Norwood is mixing it up a bit. But Morsey couldn't miss that, but he only couldn't miss it because of the really well-timed, perfect run into that position, and that's a threat they've not had for most of this season, isn't it? Until this recent spell where he's doing that more and more. How many goals could a midfielder doing that score? That's how Tommy Miller used to score goals. Scored so many for Ipswich from the central midfield. They've been missing it, but not just this season. Years goals from midfield. So positive.
Hard to pick a man of the match today because this was a well-oiled machine, I thought, from Ipswich. So many good performances. Sam Morsey with the goal probably just about edges it for me. He's just leading by example in midfield. That drive, that passion. First half, crashed into a few tackles, drove forward with the ball. I thought that kind of spread throughout the team. But you could go through all of that team. Selina, involved in the goal, was robbed of a glorious assist at the end when Wes Burns fired just wide of the post. Sonny Aluko oozed class in that first half at times. Everything went through him. James Norwood, bit of a surprise starter up front, given that Macaulay Bonne had done so well off the bench at Oxford, but I thought he gave Ipswich a different dynamic up front, running off the last shoulder, worked his socks off. And you could go through that whole team. Dominic Thompson, I thought, probably had his best game in an Ipswich shirt. Defence, fuss-free, solid as usual. Walton plucking balls out of the air. It's just it's coming together for Ipswich, isn't it? And unfortunately, we're just going to be running out of games, I think.
Yeah, I think that probably will be the case. Sheffield Wednesday winning today means that gap only closed by 1 point, and nobody really played today because of the international break. So everybody now has games in hand in Ipswich. So really, today's win hasn't changed that picture at all. But I think if you're comfortable with that, and I think a lot of people are beginning to be comfortable with the fact it may not happen this season, it's hard not to come away from these games feeling really good. Not just about the way the team is growing, but also the way the club's going too, because the crowd's kind of fallen away a little bit now. But out this window here is they've got the England game on outside that you might hear in the background. Loads of fans stayed behind for the first half of that in particular, and 23,000 odd in here. It's going in the right direction, isn't it?
Yeah, bring on Cambridge back here at Portman Road next Saturday.